What's the darkest thing a teacher ever did to you? My 10th grade English teacher, Mrs. Carter, had it out for me from day one. I was the only scholarship kid in her honors class, and she made sure everyone knew it. She'd hand back essays and announce my grade out loud, while whispering everyone else's scores. When I wrote about my dad's construction job for a family traditions assignment, she read it aloud and said, "Well, I suppose we all have different definitions of tradition." At first I thought maybe I just wasn't cut out for honors English, but then weird things started happening. My best friend Jake, who sat next to me, would get his papers back with detailed feedback and suggestions. Mine came back with just a grade and maybe needs work scribbled at the top. I started staying after school to ask for help. Mrs. Carter would sigh dramatically and say things like, "I suppose I can spare a few minutes, but I can't work miracles." She'd circle random words on my essays and tell me they were inappropriate for academic writing without explaining why. One day, I noticed something strange. During peer review sessions, she'd walk around checking everyone's work, but when she got to my desk, she'd just glance over and keep walking. Meanwhile, she'd spend 5 minutes helping this kid John, who was clearly struggling way less than me. That's when I started paying closer attention. In group discussions, whenever I'd make a point, she'd immediately ask someone else to expand on that idea or correct any misconceptions. The turning point came during parent-teacher conferences. My mom worked 2 jobs but took time off to meet with Mrs. Carter. When she got home, she was furious. Apparently, Mrs. Carter had told her I was struggling to keep up with the academic rigor and suggested I transfer to regular English. But here's what didn't make sense. I was acing every other class: AP History, Honors Chemistry, even Advanced Math. I decided to test something. For our next essay, I wrote 2 versions. One was my actual work, an analysis of symbolism in The Great Gatsby that I spent hours perfecting. The other was something I deliberately wrote poorly, with basic observations and simple sentence structure. I turned in the bad one with my name on it, but I also had my friend Emily, who was Mrs. Carter's obvious favorite, turn in my good essay with her name on it. Emily was in on it. She was getting tired of watching Mrs. Carter pick on me too. When the papers came back, I got a D+ with comments about surface-level analysis and lax critical thinking. Emily's paper, my actual work, got an A with praise for sophisticated insight and mature writing style. That's when I knew for sure something was wrong. The breaking point was our final project worth 40% of our grade. I spent weeks on a presentation about immigrant stories in American literature. I found connections between their experiences and my own family's journey from Mexico. I created a slideshow with historical context, literary analysis, and personal reflection. The night before, I practiced until 2 a.m. I knew this presentation could save my grade if it was judged fairly. When presentation day came, I watched Mrs. Carter give detailed feedback to every other student. She praised Sarah's basic PowerPoint about Shakespeare. Then it was my turn. I gave everything I had. I talked about how literature preserves immigrant experiences, how these authors used English, their second language, to tell stories that couldn't be told any other way. I connected themes across different works, different time periods, different countries of origin. When I finished, the class was silent. Then Jake started clapping, and others joined in. Mrs. Carter didn't even look up from her papers. Mediocre effort, C-. But here's the thing. I'd secretly recorded my presentation on my phone to practice. My mom marched into the principal's office with that video. Within an hour, they'd pulled my presentation materials and Mrs. Carter's grade sheets. Turns out I wasn't the first. She'd been systematically undergrading scholarship students for 3 years. By Christmas break, she was gone.